so I am so glad to be back to making another video. I know it has been absolutely forever, but I am very, very happy to say that I am finally back with a new PC and a new Blue Yeti microphone that I just got yesterday. So I am absolutely ecstatic to be able to be making more videos. So I'm hoping that some of the people that were watching my previous ASMR videos will return, and hopefully we can get some new ones as well. So I'm pretty sure I mentioned it on the channel before that I'm a big fan of the 2K series. So originally whenever I started my channel, I was wanting to make more 2K videos and I just never did, but I decided, hey, you know what, if I'm gonna get back into videos and like really have fun with it and try to make the most of it, that we're gonna go ahead and just go all out with it, and I'm hoping you guys will enjoy the content. I don't see too much of the ASMR 2K content on YouTube, so I figured we would, go ahead and try to get some of that up. So what I was primarily planning on doing today is just focusing on this level 40 beyond. If there's anybody that's not familiar with 2K, this year they added in a ranking system, or like a level system, I guess, not more rankings, but a level system, similar to Fortnite or Call of Duty, any of those other games, where, you progress throughout the season and you get rewards. Well, this is actually the first season where you can actually get rewards further than level 40. As you guys can see, I'm currently level 40, and to get beyond level 40 you actually have to complete these challenges. So that's what we were going to be kind of doing today, is just going through some of these challenges while I'm just kind of rambling on about 2K or whatever in general. For anybody that might be interested, we'll take a quick look at my team. So this is the team I've kind of been running. Now my bench is a bit outdated, especially with guys like JR and David Robinson. I really don't play too many games where my bench is actually needed. One of the big flaws with 2K is the way stamina works, so you really don't need to even use a bench. I hate to say it because I know that's not how real basketball works, but in the world of 2K, a bench is more of an option instead of a necessity. You'll see my primary team I have is just a 5-man lineup where I just use these 5 players, and I don't even worry about any of the other players on the bench. And I run these players on the bench because they're so cheap on contracts. So if I go to purchase a contract, you can see it's literally 40, as opposed to one of these guys, to where if I go it's 600. So just to kind of maximize the currency that I have, I just use these guys. I really don't care, to spend the 40 on them, because for all of them combined, it's going to be less than what one of these guys would be. So, it's a broken part of the game. I really wish it would get fixed, but, until 2K decides to fix it, it's just one of those things that you got to kind of take advantage of. So I figured I would just jump into some triple threat first and then kind of go from there, because one of the challenges is just win 5 triple threat offline games. That's super easy to do. I've already got 2 of them, so we'll just jump into that. So let's go ahead and essentially do the same thing. Actually, you know what, we'll run this lineup just for the heck of it. I mean, the lineups here really don't matter because you're facing computer, so you can really LeBron James. And we are going to be going against LaMelo Ball, Michael Jordan, and Elgin Baylor. Rest in peace to Elgin Baylor. He did pass away not too long ago. So, certainly rest in peace to him. And he's actually pretty good on this game too, so it's always fun matching up with some of these cards and kind of seeing, how it goes, because sometimes with 2K, you can really do everything right and still lose, which I know that's basketball as well, but especially with 2K in general, there is a good bit of stuff with this game that really doesn't make sense if you're comparing it to real life basketball. But it is a fictional mode. If anybody's ever played any of the MyTeam or Diamond Dynasty Ultimate Team modes in any of the other sports games, it's more of a fantasy mode first and realism second, or maybe not even second, because realism isn't really what they're going for with these games. It's more so just building on the aspect of fantasy sports, essentially. So, people want to run crazy lineups that you would never be able to see otherwise. And I think that's kind of why I like this mode, because, used to whenever I would play sports games, it would kind of just be, okay, I'm going to do a fantasy draft and build my own team, but once they made this an option where you can kind of do that all in one mode, then I was like, okay, I'd much prefer that, because in like a franchise or whatever, it can kind of get pretty crazy pretty fast. But with this, it's more so of, just kind of go crazy with it to your heart's desire. And another thing I guess I kind of like about these modes, as opposed to, like, say, your traditional franchise with a fantasy draft or anything like that, you can't really trade players or anything of that nature. They release stuff in packs, so unless you have the actual currency in the game to go and buy the players that that you want, you have to hope that you pull them in a pack, which of course costs currency as well. So there's a bit of a luck aspect applied to it, which I guess I kind of like, because there's always something that you're kind of working towards, I guess. And they do a pretty good job of, releasing content throughout the year. I think with this mode, for example, we get content, I think 3 times a week, sometimes 4, so most days you can kind of expect to have something new added into the game. So that's one of the cool things as well, because you're kind of always looking forward to, okay, what's coming next, and all that. So, these modes aren't for everybody. I know there's some people that just don't like these modes at all, because they just don't see the point of it, which I guess I can definitely understand if you're more of a traditional basketball fan or just a sports fan in general. But me personally, being a big fan of fantasy sports and kind of the team building aspect and kind of going crazy with certain lineups, and well, let's see what would happen if this guy played with this guy, and kind of how that would work. So it's just kind of a different game mode that I really enjoy. So let's see if we can get the vault to open, and it does not. That's one of the main things you'll see with this particular mode, because after each game you have a chance for the vault to open, and you can see there on the prizes, you can get any of those prizes. But getting the vault to open, that's a different story. It seems to open about, I don't know, maybe 20% of the time, so it's not too crazy as far as the odds go, but it gives you a reason to kind of play these games outside of the challenges. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but the actual beyond level 40 card that we are going for is an invincible Blake Griffin, which essentially is just maxed out cards. So they have basically all 99 stats and all of the badges in the game. So it's, basically some of the best cards they are the best cards in the game, which pretty sure most people that would be tuning into this video would have an idea of what the invincible cards are. I can't imagine too many people are just, hey, let me check out this 2K game that I care nothing about. So, sure, some of you guys are familiar with it, but anybody that's not, maybe you'll see it and decide, hey, that actually seems like a pretty fun game. I could see myself getting into that. So, you never know, especially if you're into sports games and you've never tried the Ultimate Team modes. I think they're a lot of fun. Before I ever got into them, I used to think, I don't really see the point, it just seems stupid to me, but once I actually started playing it, I was like, oh wow, this is actually pretty interesting. And now I think basically every sports game that I play in this mode, so it's definitely a lot of fun. Now I am primarily just trying to score with Luka Doncic because one of the other challenges that I need to complete is scoring. I think it's 100 or 250 points or something like that with Luka. So trying to get that challenge taken care of as well. Normally I would, pass the ball around and play more of your traditional basketball, but this is also just a game of 21, so it's more like street ball than anything. But this is actually the first year they've added like these XP challenges and whatnot to the to the game mode, which I'm definitely a huge fan of it. I know some people don't like it because of the the whole grinding aspect of it, because the XP challenges are on a limited timer, so you do have to complete them by a certain amount of time or they go away, and the seasons are usually around 40 days or so, give or take. So there is kind of like a time limit on the challenges, which can kind of take the fun out of it, because then it's more of like an actual chore as opposed to just kind of playing it at your leisure. Some people, they may not have the time required to kind of go through this, so I can certainly understand the argument people would have for that. But I don't know, it's definitely a welcomed addition, because last year kind of, especially the longer the game is out and we start getting to this point where we really only have a couple months left within this game cycle, and then the new 2K is going to come out. And for anybody that's not aware, this progress and everything that you accumulate on this particular game, it will not transfer over to the new one, so you start completely fresh. So usually around this time, when you start really getting towards the end of the game cycle, there's really not too much to do besides, kind of play people online or, do the computer challenges, which, that can get pretty boring pretty quickly. So the levels did add a whole new side of the game where it does give you more to do, so I'm a huge fan of that. So there's pluses and minuses to everything there. Now, if I do have any people returning to the channel that kind of saw any of my previous videos and were wondering why it took such a long time for me to get new videos out, well, I went through a move to a whole new location, and I had to get a new PC as well. So I didn't have a PC for the last few months, so I was having to save up to get a PC because I said, hey, well, if I'm going to get a PC and kind of start over, I do want to make sure that I have a good computer. So I did save up and got me a new computer. It ran me about $2,000 before tax, which I guess in the world of PC gaming, that's really not anything, but I felt comfortable with the computer that I was getting to be able to, run the games that I want to run and, do what I want to do with it. So it felt pretty good, and I of course can always upgrade the equipment at a later time with, better graphics card, more memory, things like that. I can always do that, but I just wanted to finally, get a computer and, kind of stop having to wait. So I had finally got the computer, and after that I was like, well, I don't want to be using the previous mic that I was using because I felt my sound quality wasn't as good as it could be. So I figured I would just wait and invest in a new microphone as well to make sure that I was, having the best, quality that I could as far as ASMR videos and really any other videos. If I ever decide to stream or anything like that, then I'll at least have good sound quality for the videos. So I did pick up a Blue Yeti microphone. I had looked online. They were one of the best reviewed mics I could find, and it wasn't too expensive. The microphone only ran me about, I think after taxes, it was about $157. So it wasn't too bad as far as, what I was willing to spend. I didn't want to go crazy with it, but I didn't want to go cheap on it either. I'm right now in the process of trying to decide if I want to get an actual video camera and, do a face cam with my videos, or especially if I ever decide to stream, then I do want to have a face cam video for those. So I think that's the next thing that I'm really focused on, getting to add to the setup is a nice camera that I can at least record in at minimum 1080 and preferably 4K, but that's really just going to depend on the actual price points that I'm looking at and kind of go from there. But the main thing was I was like, hey, I finally got the mic, I have my computer, so I really don't have an excuse to why I couldn't be making videos. So I said, hey, you know what, let's just go ahead and make a video and test everything out and kind of go from there. So for anybody that may have been wondering, what caused the gap in the uploads, well, that's kind of the short version of a very long layoff to kind of, sum it all up. But I am very happy to be back to making videos. I really do enjoy this. I know ASMR is, very relaxing for the people that listen to it. I listen to ASMR every single night, especially when I'm going to bed. So I know how relaxing it is, as a listener, but making these videos are also very relaxing for me as well. I do thoroughly enjoy it, so hoping to get back on a regular uploading schedule and try to get videos out as consistent as possible. I do currently work 10-hour days, so some days you'll come home and just be like, man, I don't feel like doing anything. But I'm trying to get in that mindset of even whenever I don't feel like doing anything, being like, hey, you know what, let's just take the time out and go ahead and make a video. But I also then have the flip side of that coin where I'm like, well, I don't want to just make a video just to say, okay, I made a video, because I'm a very firm believer if you're going to get out what you put into something. So if I'm putting in very minimal effort and thought, then those are the type of results that I'm going to get back when it is very minimal. So it's just it's always one of those things where you just want to be consistent, but you also want to be providing good content, and especially with YouTube or really any sort of content creation, it's such a saturated thing that you really got to always be thinking of something new, something different, something, that people are going to be interested in listening in. And I, really enjoy, 2K and watching other people play 2K. And when it comes to the ASMR side of things, there really wasn't too much content out there. So I said, hey, you know what, let me go ahead and try to make some videos and, kind of go from there. I do also play a similar mode on this for MLB The Show, which is baseball for anybody who's unfamiliar. And I consider baseball just to be pretty relaxing in its, in its own right, because it's a very slow, methodical game, sometimes to the point where it's too slow, but, there's not a lot of, action or anything like that. It's kind of, just a slow, relaxing game, so I've thought about maybe trying to put some content up for that as well. Maybe try to alternate with basketball and baseball, kind of just have a bit of variety for the channel and, kind of see how people are feeling about that. But, it's just one of those processes, take day by day and, see what you guys are kind of interested in, what you're not interested in, and kind of go from there. That was a horrible shot. But, kind of go from there and, hopefully we can find something that I enjoy making and you guys also enjoy listening to. And, that'd be, that's the perfect idea, right? Make stuff you enjoy and make stuff that people enjoy. But it's a lot easier said than done, because I remember before I started making videos, I would hear other content creators be like, hey, do you guys have any video ideas or anything like that? And I would always think like, I would do this video, I would do that video, I would do this. But then once you actually, have the ability to start making content, then you start looking at it like, okay, well, if I make this video, are people going to be interested in that, or is that just something that I'm interested in? So you really start looking at it differently, and that's something that I've ran into even before I made this video. I was like, okay, I want to make a video, but I'm not really sure on what I should make it on. And, I kind of went back and forth, tried to think of some ideas, and then I said, hey, you know what, it's just been so long since I made a video, and I'm just itching to do so. So I can't find a lot of 2K ASMR content. I want to make a video, so let's do it. And it just seemed like a perfect match. So, I'm hoping you guys will enjoy it. I know some people prefer watching people, play other people online, which I certainly have no problem doing if people, prefer that. Right now, there's just really no point of actually playing online, because other than just playing another person, that's really all that I'd be doing it for. There's not really anything that I could be unlocking or anything like that playing online, as opposed to right now playing offline. I can actually earn one of the best cards in the game, so it just seems smarter to make the video but also be working towards something that I can actually use in the game. So that was kind of the thought process on that. But I certainly can't play people online if everybody is more, a fan of that as opposed to just watching me play the computer. I know some people, they tune in ASMR and they just, care about the whispers and, what's being said. Some people, they'll just turn it on, myself included. Sometimes I'll just turn it on and lay down and start going to sleep. I don't even, take a look at the screen. So it's one of those things that whatever you guys prefer seeing, I am certainly not opposed to doing. And we have not got a vault open on any of the challenges that we did, but we did get some more contracts, so certainly don't mind that. But I think we'll go ahead and cut the video here. We're at about 25 minutes, and I am happy to be putting up a new video. I'm gonna go ahead and listen to this one back and see how the sound quality is with the microphone. That would be the deciding factor if this video goes up or not. So if you guys see this video, then I decided, hey, I think that sound quality sounds good enough. It may not be perfect. Like I said, I've only had this microphone for less than 24 hours, so there's going to be a lot of tinkering with it to kind of find the perfect sound settings. But if you guys see this video, then I decided to go ahead and upload it. So I'm hoping to, like I said, be on a more consistent schedule. I do appreciate anybody that's stuck around with the channel and anybody that's new to the channel. And I will see you guys on the next one. You guys have a wonderful day.